Let's talk about taxes. With regard to incentives, how do taxes influence our behavior? There are several answers to these questions, but one thing is common to all those answers. Taxes do change our behavior. We usually consume less of a good when taxes are higher, or we usually try to avoid paying taxes when taxes are really high. So taxes will alter our behavior. Your book discussed two different examples. Bjorn Borg example, corporate tax example, actually three examples, and marriage tax example. So let's talk briefly about each one of them. Bjorn Borg example was telling us that this famous tennis player moved away from Monaco because he was paying way too much taxes there. So it forces some people to relocate in order to pay less. We also can see this example in United States. Some people move away from California, some golf players do. Move from California to Florida because California you have to pay higher taxes than you do in Florida. It doesn't mean that everybody in California is going to look for a place where you have to pay lower taxes, but it definitely can alter our behavior. Corporate taxes. Corporations sometimes may also seek places where they have to pay lower taxes. A company may relocate abroad if the tax systems there's lower taxes in that particular country. So we can encourage with taxes companies to move away from United States, or we can do the opposite. By lowering the tax rate, we can encourage foreign companies to move into United States. Marriage tax. How does marriage tax affect our behavior? Well, marriage tax is not really a tax that you have to pay once you get married. But when you get married, you have a combined income that's usually higher than when you were single. As a result, you move into the next bracket, or maybe a couple of brackets further, and you have to pay higher percentage tax. As a result, for some people, it may seem that the second person earning much less than they did before because now you have to pay higher taxes. So this tax may not necessarily discourage people to get married, but this particular tax, income tax, may discourage people to go and work, because if half of my salary goes towards taxes, I may even think twice about should I go to work, or maybe should I stay home and save money on babysitting costs and other things and take care of my family instead of actually going to work. So in each one of those examples, we see that higher taxes make people seek places where they would pay a lower tax rate. Does it mean that we have to start lowering taxes necessarily? No. The reason for it is that taxes have a certain purpose. Some taxes, such as income tax, allow governments to collect revenue that will be spent on some other things. California residents pay higher taxes, so the government in California will spend them on education or spend them on roads and things like that. So that money does not disappear. That money is being used by the government in order to provide us with certain goods and services. So it doesn't mean that the taxes should be lowered necessarily, but it's definitely something to consider whenever a legislation proposes taxes to be increased. Creative distraction, final example where incentives play a certain role. Your book discussed two different examples of creative distraction, Walmart example and technological breakthrough. Walmart example talked about Walmart moving to a small city. On one hand, people enjoy lower prices that Walmart has to offer. On the other hand, those residents stop going to the local store, and as a result, some of the local businesses go out of business. That's what we call creative distraction, when one thing substitutes for another thing. On one hand, we're providing benefit, yet we're destroying something that existed before. The same with technological breakthroughs. A lot of inventions are good things, right? We are getting faster technology, we're able to produce things better. Yet, we are hurting some older technology. For example, when DVD players came into market, that destroyed market for VHS players. Or when the digital cameras started started existing in the market, all those places that used to print pictures from a film, they went out of business as well. So we are creating something positive, yet we are actually hurting somebody else. So we say that creative destruction creates losers, but society adjusts to the new situation, and in the long run, everyone is better off. So we've seen a lot of technological advancement in the last 100 years. Even though we destroyed some jobs with technological advancement, more jobs were created. So as long as there is more benefit than hurt, we say that society is going to be better off.